okay, is far beyond our expectation.
He's the safest way of owning a house.
My mouth is full of appreciation to Federal Mortgage Bank.
It's a pleasure to have you join us once again on yet another edition of the program, Everyone Deserves a Home. My name is Zuleyhat Belugubir. Good evening and welcome to the program. The Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria has a 5-year strategic plan. The plan aims to increase housing delivery, increase the number of NHF contributors, and also boost NHF contributions, amongst other things. The year 2021, especially the last quarter, came with remarkable successes for the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria, as some areas of the strategic plan yielded notable fruits. In this edition of the program, we'll take a look at the last quarter report of the FMBN for the year 2021 and some of the areas it recorded noteworthy successes. We'll take a short break now, and when we return, the program commences in full. The episode will begin with our news diary, and tonight, FMBN Board Chairman reiterates the need for data in the housing sector. Also in the news, Minister of State for Works and Housing calls on state governments to make access to land easy. Stay tuned for the details coming up shortly.
The board chairman of the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria, Mr. Ayodeji Beleye, has called on the Strategy and Performance Group of the bank to ensure that relevant data is made available for increased delivery in the housing sector. Beleye, who was speaking recently at a briefing on the bank's mandate by management staff of the bank, noted that the availability of data will serve as a guide to effective decision-making for the bank.
We're in the era of data, and big data will drive the businesses of the future. We need to be agile, we need to be responsive, but in doing so, we must have facts at our disposal. And big data and analytics will help, ensure effective decision making going forward. So we really need your help in that regard, and we need you to sustain the collaboration with Unilag and ensure that on a regular basis you can give us very relevant data that can help guide decision-making progress.
Speaking earlier, Group Head Strategy and Performance Management Group, Mr. Oladapo Fakei, while giving a brief of the group's mandate, disclosed that with the 5-year strategic plan of the bank, the FMBN has been able to improve on the number of its contributors, contributions, and housing units delivered to its contributors.
We have 3 major targets under the strategic blueprint. The first one is to increase the number of NHF contributors from around 5.4 million that we have today to over 31 million by the end of the tenure of that strategic blueprint, from 5 million to 31 million contributors, out of the about 70 million workers estimated in the Nigeria, as Nigerian workers in Nigeria. The second target is to also increase NHF contributions on an annual basis from around 70 billion that we have currently to over 211 billion on an annual basis. expectedly coming from the new contributors into the National Housing Fund scheme. The third strategic target is to increase the impact of the bank with regards to the number of houses delivered. Right now, we have about 30,000 houses that have been constructed across the country, but we are hoping that by the end of that, the 5-year tenure, we should increase that to 100,000 houses.
The Minister of State for Works and Housing, Muazu Sambo, has said that easy access to land will lead to easy access to housing in the country. He was speaking during a visit to FHA in Abuja. He noted that because lands are under the administration of the state governments, it is difficult to process and get land titles. The Minister of State also noted that the Federal Housing Authority, FHA, has not been able to deliver houses for low-income earners due to encumbrances associated with acquisition of land from state governments. He also added that social inclusion is one of Mr. President's 9-point agenda, and the first thing to look at is shelter, the provision of houses and infrastructure to drive housing programs. Sambo then called on the National Assembly to take a second look at the Land Use Act so that there can be some reforms. Managing Director, Federal Housing Authority, Senator Benga Ashafa, who received the minister, said that the current management team of the authority has changed the narrative of the FHA for the better by reviewing its mandate. He added that the team is currently implementing the new corporate structure that will make the agency compete in the economic environment of the new world. Ashafa also disclosed that the FHA is also making progress despite challenges militating against the efforts of the authority towards reaching its peak. He added that with the support of the ministry, these challenges will be surmounted.
If you're just joining us, the program is Everyone Deserves a Home, coming your way from the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria as it showcases its efforts towards transforming Nigeria's mortgage sector. In the fourth quarter of 2021, the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria recorded good successes in different areas of its activities, thereby recording a high performance achievement above other quarters in the year 2021. A significant area of this success is in the NHF collections, as the bank recorded a 144% achievement in the last quarter of 2021. In our next segment, Measuring the Impact, we will bring you details of how much the FMBN achieved in the last quarter of 2021. Don't go away. In order to reposition the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria to better deliver on its mandate, the bank developed a 5-year strategic plan. The plan seeks to achieve 3 basic objectives: increase housing delivery, increase NHF contributors, and accelerate NHF contributions. The FMBN has 8 zonal offices across the country that works hard to ensure that the bank's performance across the country improves. Quarterly, the bank sets targets for its field offices. The last quarter of the year 2021, just like other quarters, had a target in particular areas the bank looked to improve on. In the area of NHF collections, 28.875 billion naira was realized from the 8 zones of the bank against a target of 18.567 billion naira, representing a performance of 144.74%, making the achievement the highest in the year under review. The FCT zone attained the position of the first and highest contribution zone by realizing 17.925 billion naira as against its target of 10.271 billion naira, giving it a 174% achievement. 4 other zones also attained over 100% of their targets. Ibadan zone realized a total collection of 486.9 0.512 million against a target of 387.750 million naira, giving it a 125.47% performance. Lagos Zone, being third, realized a collection of 4.571 billion naira against a target of 3.737 billion naira, thereby performing at 122.33%. Maiduguri Zone brought in a collection of 668.271 million naira against a target of 628.25 million naira, representing a 106.37% performance, and Port Harcourt Zone, with a performance of 102.73%, realized 895.705 million naira against a target of 871.875 million. Other zones of the bank also recorded their achievement thus. Kaduna Zone had a target of 1.297 billion naira against a target of 1.304 billion naira, performing at 99.48%. Jos Zone had a target of 498 million naira and collected 391.604 million naira, having a 78.64% performance, while Enugu Zone, having a target of 868.75 million naira, realized a collection of 638.742 million naira, giving it a 73.52% performance. With this remarkable performance, however, the bank in other quarters of the year also recorded good successes as well.
Our NHF contributions continue to increase, and we continue to make good strides with that. And I think it's on record that it's in 2021 that we recorded that between April 2017 and I think June 2021 or so, we actually recorded NHF collections above what we have recorded in the first 25 years of the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria, which means what we achieved in 4 years was much more than what we achieved in terms of NHF collections for over 25 years. So that speaks to and demonstrates how the bank has been progressing significantly in the recent past.
The FMBN also, in the period under review, recorded an increase in the number of housing units it delivered to its customers.
The bank has been able to complete most of the projects that it has anticipated to do in 2021. For instance, we had the mandate of the minister that we should be able to complete all ministerial pilot housing schemes that have been started before the year runs out. And I think we're able to complete all those projects all over the country.
In the period under review, the FMBN successfully conducted the third Northern and Southern Retreat.
The heart and brain of Federal Mortgage Bank should come to Katsina and sensitize.
Also in the last quarter of the year 2021, the field offices of the bank also conducted sensitization exercises for National Union of Local Government Employees, NOLGE, in 22 states. With success comes challenges. The FMBN in all of these efforts has also recorded areas it faced challenges. Some of the challenges were security challenges, particularly in some areas like Borno, Yobe, and Zamfara. Delays, irregular payment of salaries by some contributing states and organizations. Unremitted arrears of NHF deductions and home renovation loan repayments by some states, and low informal sector NHF collections by branch offices due to the inability to provide a suitable loan window for the sector. Some of these challenges are already being addressed.
Generally, the management and of course the board on top of this situation try to engage all the stakeholders so that these issues of course are managed as they come in.
It's now time to hear from another beneficiary of the National Housing Fund. Keep watching and be inspired.
The payment process is quite flawless.
It was unbelievable because I didn't know that they have such a scheme existing in Nigeria.
Is it true that I will get the house? No, why not? You met all the requirements, so we'll get it.
The joy of ownership is wonderful.
Mrs. Mary Onoka is a resident of Elim Estate, Enugu. She became a home owner since 2014 when her family moved back to the east.
We were living in Kaduna in a rented apartment. That was where we were working. My husband and I were working there for a couple of years, plenty years of course.
The journey began when her husband's friend told him about houses on sale at the estate. Then he went to find out how to also acquire his own home.
It was early 2014. My husband came to work here. He was with Nigerian Breweries. So a colleague of his mentioned something about a developer where he bought a building. At, I think that is Goshen Estate. Yes, Goshen Estate. So, and that the developer has started another one. So from that conversation, this came to be. So he got in touch, he gave him the address, the phone numbers, and he got in touch with one of the developers, the people working there. And then everything went on smoothly. He came to inspect the place. It was under construction at that time.
At first, they were not exactly sure of the authenticity of the scheme, but with assurances from her husband's friend, they gave it a trial.
When the information got to us initially, we thought about it, we said, could it be true? But since it was his colleague who introduced him to it and said he already got one in the previous estate. So we said we should try, like it looks genuine, you know. So, and we did take a leap of faith to say, and then this is the result.
After an initial deposit of 2 million naira, the Onokas moved into their house, which they got at a total cost of 10 million naira.
We moved in later that year, 2014. Precisely, I collected the keys on the 26th of November 2014, and that's how we moved in here.
She enjoys the serenity of living in an estate as well as other facilities.
It's very quiet. What really attracted many people to this place, because I think we were the first tenants on this side, we were first landlords on this side of the estate. And there was light, constant light at that time. So many people got to know about it and then started moving in gradually. And it's very quiet and there's security.
She tells us how she feels owning her own home.
Can you quantify that? You know how it feels like when you are in a rented apartment. Every year, you think of how you are going to cough out a lot of money to give to your landlord, you know? And then that anticipation, that tension that comes with it at the end when the rent is up, you know? But when you have your own house, you are relaxed. You are paying in bits because it's a mortgage. You are paying in bits. And anything you do in the house is yours, so to say. So it's very calming.
Our question for the week is, what processes must one follow to access a loan from the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria?
It begins from the contribution, which are, like I said earlier, contributing 2.5% of whatever our income is to form the pool It is from that pool that she is able to draw up as a mortgage loan to be able to buy, build, or renovate her own houses. So once you are now contributing and you have hit that 6 months and above, you will be able to approach a PMB, a primary mortgage bank, because they are the ones who are concerned with carrying out primary mortgage functions of a mortgage. When you approach them, you ask them about what you need to do to be able to to have a mortgage. They will take you through. One of the first things that you do is identify a house, because that is a business of Federal Mortgage Bank, to create mortgages for home ownership. It is not for market stalls and all of those. So they will tell, if you are able to identify a house or able to get to identify any of the estate funded by Federal Mortgage Bank, you will be able to go there. The developer is able to give you an allocation paper, and then you approach these PMBs. They start the process of seeing that they forward those applications to Federal Mortgage Bank, put them together with others who are also pre-qualified, forward them to Federal Mortgage Bank. Federal Mortgage Bank will now carry out their own due diligence, reviewing those applications, ensuring that you have the affordability.
This is where we end this episode of the program. You can stop by at any of our branch offices nearest to you for inquiries on how to join or benefit from the NHF scheme, or visit our website on www.fmbn.gov.ng for more information about us. You can also catch up on previous episodes of this program on our social media handles currently showing on your screens. See you next week. Same time, same station, as we bring you another edition of the program. Enjoy the rest of the week and stay positive.